Good morning. Good morning from Bobcaps, the wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of Baroda Capital. Today's Bob World Hackathon attempts to share information on both banking and capital markets. Since we are in the capital markets, we'll give you a perspective from Bank of Baroda's perspective as to what exactly account aggregator mean for securities market. Because in August 2022, this year, SEBI has also accepted what banking system has accepted for the aggregator model. Before that, I like to put in a presentation. Maybe that's will give you a perspective of what Bobcaps is. Yeah, the tech support. Can you see the presentation? Perfect. Yeah. So we'll start with what is Bobcaps. A lot of people understand Bobcaps as a subsidiary of Bank of Baroda. You would have heard of Bob Cards, which is a subsidiary of Bank of Baroda, or a Bob Mutual Fund, which is a subsidiary. I would say Bobcaps is registered with SEBI. So we are not regulated primarily by RBI, but by SEBI. What do we offer? We offer IPOs. So when you see a public company going public, we do IPO advisory. We do the entire spectrum of investment banking. We help corporates do placements of debt and equity. We help them do restructuring, valuation exercises, mergers and acquisitions, including private equity deals that is possible in this space, loan syndication, equity research primarily for institutional clients like the QIBs, the FIs, institutional equities means again broking for the institutions, demat services, which has Bank of Baroda today as the demat provider, and shortly Bob Capital Markets will also provide demat services. And finally, today what we're going to discuss is retail broking, which will encompass the aggregator space for securities market. I know a lot of you know about this, but data is data. And when we're talking of data analytics, it's important to understand the landscape. Today's India's population, the median age is 29. We are a young population of 29 years old. We all know internet users. And why I'm using internet users and mobile connections. If at the start of this year, we had 1.1 billion, which is about 80% or 81% of the population of the country, which grew by 3% over the last 1 year. So 35 million got added in mobile connections. But look at the internet users, they also increased by 34 million, but that is 5% increase over the last 1 year. So we have about 658 million or 66 crore internet users in this country. And of course, growing by the day. What adds to this is the internet connection speed. So if you look at the mobile median speed, which was about 14.4 Mbps, now it has increased by about 56% over the last 12 months. So that's the scale at which we are growing. That's the speed that we are growing. And we are proud to say that we are not only about speed, not only about the universe, but also about the cost that comes with it. The cost of 1 GB of mobile data. I think Israel is the only possible country, or Italy or San Marino and Fiji, but the fact is at $0.17, we're far, far, far lower than most of the developing or developed countries in the world. And hence, that has led to increased broadband speed and usage in this country, which also contributes to the growth of digitals. But then coming back to our own space, that is the securities market, demat accounts is a great indicator of where the market is. Look at FY13, 21 million customers. Look at FY17, 28 million customers. For 5 years, and we are just about 7 million getting added. Then started a little bit of inflection from FY18 to FY20, where it went to 4 crore customers. But while it took from 13 to 27 years to add 2 crore customers, from FY20 to FY22, 4 crores has become 10 crores. That's the kind of growth. We're talking of 18% CAGR over the entire period. But of course, we don't need to tell you what kind of growth we're seeing in the last 2-3 years. Is the growth going to happen more, or is it happened? Is a big question that everybody asks. But then let's look at another data point. We have penetrated of the demat accounts penetration of the India's population is just 7.3%. That was last year it was 6.4%. We have moved to 7.3% in the half year of this year. Look at China. It's 14.4, double than that what India is. Look at USA. Of course, the data is old dated, but the fact is that it's so 65%. And that is what exactly it's all about. It's not about demat accounts, it's all about who are the stock market users. And then at 7.3, whether it becomes 14.4, you can understand that 10 crores becomes 20 crores is something which is a huge inflection point. And what is the addressable market? It's the market which starts at the age of 15, because by the time you become 18, 19, 20, and you are obviously contractually going to do deals for 18. But the fact is you're catching them young. People are getting to understand what is securities market, how to invest in stock markets, how to manage your funds, where to invest in mutual funds, or alternative assets. That's wealth management. It's starting early. So 15 to 64, you can see the green block, which takes a major share of the entire market, whether it's 2021, 2040, or 2050. We're seeing a growth which is unprecedented. And that's the market that we're looking at addressable for our purposes. Let me share one more data. It's not the entire country that is actually, currently, investing in stock market. And this is surprising that only 5 states of the entire country account for 51% of the registered investors. Why I'm talking about this? What we're saying is that the penetration is so low, and if you people who are in the technology space can help penetrate these markets with the enablers that we're talking on hackathon today, when you work on the APIs, when you ensure that the processes are more robust, I'm sure that this particular data will change over the next 2 to 3 years. Maharashtra at 2 crores is number 1, and a Gujarat at 1.1 crore is number 2, and a Uttar Pradesh at 0.87. You know what Uttar Pradesh population is? At 0.87 versus a Maharashtra and a Gujarat is absolutely minimal. If this grows to 3 crores or 4 crores, I'm sure the growth that we're looking at can be superb. While the states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh, which are states which are growing in the south, or of course Delhi, which is still a far cry from where exactly it can be. I'm talking of the NCR, if Delhi is NCR. So about if this 5 states move to 20 states or 15 states, you can see the growth that's going to happen in the capital markets. And another data point, but of this 10 crore investors, 65% are only between the age of 20 and 40. That's a very interesting data point, and hence these are the target segments that we talk about when we talk about demat and trading. And 90% of the demat accounts which got opened in the last 2 years are in this group. So that's one big addressable group. When we're talking of data analytics, what does customer data analytics mean for us at BOB and Bank of Baroda Group? And we are talking today on terms of securities market. Of course, there will be many more sessions which the mutual fund group will take, or the life insurance group will take, or the banking group will take. But today we'll limit ourselves to the securities market. And you see that when we are looking at analytics, we're making smart marketing decisions. We're ensuring that our bottom line increases because of data analysis. How it happens? Because we get insights into customer behavior. And when we get insights on customer behavior, we also possibly get, and not possibly, actually, we will get insights on what is the asset mix that a customer has. What is the risk profiling? We do with risk profile. What is the risk, that customer wants to, take care of? And hence, we're able to give more products, specific products, focused, decision making. And hence, we're also able to see which advertising platform that we will try to give. The millennials, the Gen Z, which advertising platform they use. What happens is we are also looking at the processes. We want to see that if a person drops out a journey between the journey at X or X plus 1 stage or X plus 2 stage, what are those mitigants that we can use to remove the risk in ensuring that the person completes the customer journey and he becomes our customer and he gives us revenue. So hence, we need to be more personalized. We need to be more timely. We need to be more focused. And that knowledge helps us reduce our sales cycle and get better revenues from the analytics that we're talking of. Well, of course, while I said that we can build personalized customer experience through a holistic view, the fact is, the moment we understand that he has a debt or an equity mix, we know where to hit, where to give proper advice. And that advice is not only about giving you the best returns, but minimizing risk. And as a finance student, it's just not about higher returns. It is about balancing the risk between the return, and that only data analytics can provide. So we enhance our revenue by acquiring new customers, by deepening the relationships and growing the loyalty. We reduce the risk, and that's an important thing of compliance function. The fact that with analytics, we know where things are going wrong or can go wrong, and we detect early detection of adverse incidents and behaviors. And hence, data analytics is not just about revenue or customer experience, it's also about better compliance. And the last, it's able to help us design better operations and better procedures, which means removing unnecessary procedures and delays that happen on the process. So we automate all the manual functions. So data analytics is something which no organization, whether it's in finance or in manufacturing or service or otherwise, cannot do without it, because it has to be an integral part of our businesses. Coming to Account Aggregator. Well, most of you understand how this Account Aggregator business has penetrated the banking system. And for the last 3 to 4 years, there have been enough discussions whether one should share the data that he or she, the organization has with somebody else, because everybody thought that the customer data is important for his own use. But the way things are happening, the way a particular investor or a customer is having 5, 6 accounts in the bank, he may have 3, 4 demat accounts. He may have 2, 3 trading accounts. He may have 20 mutual fund accounts. And hence, it becomes so difficult for anybody, for any advisor, to give a holistic advice. What does it happen? When a wealth manager meets a customer, he or she first of all asks, can you please give me all your bank statements? Can you please give me all your stock statements? Can you give me the consolidated account statement that is provided by NSDL or CDSL? And hence, that is the starting point. Then you have to give passwords of your accounts to open those files. Now, these are cumbersome processes, fraught with risks, because you are giving your advisor data access or a password access or a multiple document access or unnecessary access to what you may not like to give. So how does it happen? The way you are giving in an account aggregator access for your bank statement status. Similarly, now since August, SEBI has said, fine, let the securities market join. And the entire trading system, deposit system, and the mutual funds, of course, the mutual fund through the RTS, can now provide financial information to the financial users through the aggregator network. We all know that the process looks simple. The word aggregator is a misnomer, because those aggregators are actually not aggregating. And I'll come to this important point. Because the aggregator is not an aggregator, but it is only able to share the data. The data is encrypted, and hence the aggregator is impossible for them to see. Is data blind. Is an interoperable data blind consent manager. So the customer is given consent, and hence the person cannot, or the aggregator cannot read the consumer data. They cannot resell the consumer data, whereas the consumers can selectively share and even revoke the consent that was given to the aggregator, that, okay, I had given you for 5 days, I had given you for 1 month, or I had given you for this purpose, and hence today I am over, I don't want your advice, and hence I'm going back. While they're all RBI regulated entities, now we're talking of SEBI regulated entities or IRDA regulated entities or PFRDA regulated entities are the 4 regulators that possibly will be using. So I'm talking of insurance, I'm talking of securities, we're talking of banking system, we're talking of mutual fund organizations who will be sharing data for a holistic customer advice on the wealth management side. Please understand, it is not Aadhaar eKYC data sharing. It is not credit bureau data sharing. It is not CKYC. Because all these KYC purposes, what are we sharing? We're sharing name, we're sharing address, we're sharing gender. Whereas in an account network, we're sharing transaction data. We are sharing bank data. We are sharing what is the shareholding, what is the holding of a particular shares, different types of shares, different types of sectors. And hence, data analytics come out of the holdings that you have in a particular demat account, or the trading that you're doing in a particular way. I think these are intelligent data. And the fact that today, when we talk of artificial intelligence, when we talk of machine learning, we are understanding the behavior of a customer as to how many times a day he or she is investing, how many times they are keeping, or what period they're keeping a particular share, what is the risk profiling of that customer only in equities. Whereas a normal wealth manager does a profiling between how much debt and how much equity and how much mix. We are talking of within equities. Are we looking at large caps? Are we looking at mid caps? Are we looking at small caps? Or are we looking at something else? What is the period of holding? Is the person capacity to hold a particular stock for a longer period of time, medium time, or is a trader, or is an investor, long-term investor? These are many, many fields that will come out of these data points and hence permit an advisor to take a better situation. As I said, is the data sharing secure? Yes, it is secure, 100% secure. As I said, they're encrypted by the sender and only be decrypted by the recipient. So hence, it's like a digital signature, which is much, much process secure than just sharing paper documents through a PDF file or a Word document or an Excel set. Then last, as I said, can a consumer decide that they don't want to share data? Fine. They can reject a consent, they can withdraw the consent, and they can just do over a period of a loan period, and it can be revoked after the loan is over or the particular transaction is over. Again, I will say that the exact period will be shown at the concept of data sharing. Now, why at Bobcaps we feel that we also need products, and the technology team, the technology people that you are today listening to this conversation, I would say that what a company like us, we are a brokerage firm. We are a firm that provides digital account onboarding, we're providing trading platform at competitive pricing. Now, these are the three pillars. But at the same time, when the aggregator space is being launched in securities market, what are the kind of APIs? What are the kind of risk-free APIs, I would say, or processes that ensures that our data is not breached, that we do not breach compliance of SEBI regulations, and hence the customer gets an experience that he is not sharing something which is going public. It is only going for a particular purpose. But to give you just a brief, we are a 100% digital account opening company. We're just opening account in 6 easy steps. There is no longer wait times. There's no physical presence required in a bank branch to open a demat account. You can just open completely online, and we will explain to you the process. While on trading platform, we have best-in-class UI UX. Of course, competitive pricing is something which is nothing to do with technology, but because of technology, we're able to provide innovative pricing systems, ensuring that the person gets the best-in-class pricing also. So I would just quickly take how it happens. We take and I'll come to step one, with using Aadhaar number and OTP validation, we are capturing address using DigiLocker. So that's the best, DigiLocker and Aadhaar are one of the best enablers in this country to have revolutionized the entire digital system and e-sign system in the world. And we see how we can, by a secured format, able to understand that the person who's applying is Mr. X and not Mr. Y. Then we get the bank details, because bank details is important as to where the money will flow in for your purchases, stock purchase, or your remittances back to the bank. We use penny drop facility, and that is how we see that the bank is active, the name is active, the PAN and the bank matches or not. Then we have the profile page. Then we get the entire details, and of course, because of stock market regulations, we need what is the annual income and the marital status, trading experience, and other details like nomination and documents get uploaded at step 3. Step 4, we are able to understand which segments you want to operate, which exchanges you want to operate, and if you have chosen a derivative segment, then you have to additional documentation you have to give. Then we're talking of in-person verification. This is a place where we take a live photo with the smartphone or the laptop camera, and this is where the customer grants us permission to record their current location. So we know that the person is in a particular place and that person exists on that particular period when this particular KYC is being done. Now, last one, the e-sign. The e-sign is a validation that this is the person who actually signed it. This is the person who gave the documentation. This is the person who gave the consent. And once the post OTP is done, everything journey is completed. The account is opened. Of course, the validation process at the exchange level and the activation takes 1 day's time, but the account gets opened immediately as soon as this process is completed. Coming to a new mobile trading platform, which is important that, Bank of Baroda Capital Markets is providing you the latest UI UX. It is, versus the old trading platform that we had. Now we have all the features, whether you want to buy, click and buy, whether you have trade notifications, whether you have preferences, you have technicals, you want to simplified place order, advanced charting tools, biometric login, and smart search. All the features are provided on our new mobile trading platform. So this is what exactly, in fact, the buy and sell feature is only unique. I have not seen such feature in any other app at the moment, where just by a click on that button, you're able to immediately buy and sell in 2 steps versus nearly 4 to 5 steps other apps offer. Then we are able to do smart search, we are able to fund transfer, and fund transfer is easy because your funds in Bank of Baroda accounts, we are doing up via Lien and also UPI, which is the most efficient method of transferring funds. Then we're talking of order placement, which can be done. And hence, these are the features that we have enabled at BOB Caps to ensure that the latest technology tools are being used to offer the best in class customer experience. But when you technologists, you technology developers want to develop an API, develop a process for us to ensure that we are able to give the best customer experience, especially in the backdrop of account aggregators and the backdrop of data analytics that will emerge because of the information that is being shared, because all the other components, if they become one and a consolidate, then the holistic approach of data analytics makes much more sense. Thank you very much. This is the presentation. Open to questions that you may have. Over to you. Tech team, do we have a Q&A coming from them directly, or is it just is there a process to get in questions? But all the best to all the hackathon participants, and we will love to see what results come out and the features that you offer us. If we are able to use them, compliments to you, and we'll be very, very happy to utilize those features that you would offer. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All the best to you for the hackathon. Thank you very much.